YouTube, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today, guys, we're gonna tackle the Tearlaments and Lightsworn deck, but it is a toxic one. Tearlaments is practically the same even if you're using it with the Horus, the standard version, or even with the Lightsworns. If you're gonna add Lightsworn into the mix, I do advise going for a 60-card pile. It gains more resources to the graveyard for your Tearlaments deck. What we're here today is not the typical or not the standard version for Tearlaments and Lightsworn, but a toxic version. Now, I was playing with Chaos Synchro a while ago, but I encountered this deck. Now, his version before had the Lightsworn Dragon. This one here, he got the Punishment Dragon into the mix, but I don't want to craft this one just for the sake of playing Lightsworn. Basically, I'm just gonna run the 3 copies of Wolf, 3 copies of Felis, and the 3 copies of Dragonling. And you also need the Charge of the Light Brigade and the Solar Recharge because the composition of our deck is mostly Lightsworn and Tearlaments. Now, the one thing that makes this deck a little bit toxic is because of the copy of Necroface. Now, if you encountered Necroface before, which basically banished this card, and then you mill a ton of cards on both sides, and then use the effect of either a copy of DD Dynamite afterwards. One of the reasons as well for DD Dynamite for even being semi-limited is because of that scenario as well. Until now, we have a much better plan in getting a hold of every card in our main deck into the graveyard, and then just using a copy of Rollback, banish this, copy a copy of DD Dynamite, and then use its effect, dealing a ton of damage to your opponent's life points for every card banished. Now, with regards to banishing cards, how can we do this? Well, it's easy. Just have a copy of Fairy Tail Snow. This is not a hard or even a soft once per turn. Chain, use its effect until you banish everything else from your graveyard, except for a copy of the DD Dynamite and the 2 copies of Rollback. The best thing about the new Lightsworn is it is very consistent in milling all of your cards to the grave. And if ever your opponent has only like a couple of hand traps in his possession, he's either gonna deck out if he drops a copy of Maxi, or we can do an FTK during turn 1. Now, if you don't believe me, I have some replays that I can showcase to you guys with regards to this. Now, I do think that if you have a second copy of Snow, better just use it. Just remove a copy of Wolf. I do think the 2 copies of Wolf is still okay though. Having to settle with 40 cards in total, you don't need hand traps for this. Just a ton of cards that you can just dump to the graveyard and trigger the effect. Spill some to the field. Use it as a fodder for link summoning, synchro summoning, or even fusion summoning. 1 copy of Pelarino. Sadly, this is going to be banned by next week. It doesn't really matter because this is basically consistent enough to do the same thing even without the Pelarino. 2 copies of Rollback and 1 copy of DD Dynamite. I do think just the 1 copy is enough. Basically, you can just discard this one to the grave and then use the effect of Rollback to copy its effect. The copy of Haunted Zombies is basically removing the copy of Necroface from the banished pile and adding it back to the top of your deck. And then you can, once you use the effect of Necroface during that turn as well, you can just mill the same copy of Necroface that was on the top of your deck, which is kind of annoying. Card destruction, if ever your opponent drops a copy of Maxi, you can deck him out if ever he has 20 or more cards on hand. And reinforcement, getting a copy of Rhinoheart. You don't need this basically. As long as you have a ton of materials that you can summon to the field or special summon to the field, you can just deck your opponent out if he has just 40 cards in his main deck. 50 cards or 60 cards, it's gonna be a hard time spell something a lot of monsters on the field. Extra deck, the most important one here and the most OP, I would say, is a copy of Curious and a copy of, well, basically any millers for that matter, especially for the Curious. So if this card is link summon, you can just send 1 card from your deck to the graveyard. If ever a card is sent from your deck to the graveyard, you can send the top 3 cards from your deck to the graveyard as well. So that's additional 3 mills out from the 1 copy that you just sent to the graveyard. Dugaris, draw 2, the Zombie Vampire, 2 level 8s. You can just use its effect, mill a ton of cards. Minerva, mill again. Minerva, the Synchro Monster, mill again. A ton of milling cards to the graveyard with this lineup. Anyways, that is our deck profile. Let's move on with the 3 replays that I'm going to showcase you guys with this deck. Okay, so turn 1 FTK with this deck. So we're going first. The only brick for this one is the Haunted Zombies, which is not half bad, but we can just drop this one later on or along the combo. But anyways, we got Charge of the Light Brigade, one copy of Dragonling, one Riding Heart, and a copy of Felis. So not half bad. So we go first with a copy of Charge of the Light Brigade, dump 3, and we got Ash. Not really a big issue. We also milled monster, so we can spell summon our Dragonling from hand, since we got one Lightsworn monster. So it's basically just milling a ton of cards. Go for Felis, dump, spell summon, go for Synchro. So it's basically like that. If ever your opponent dumps a copy of Maxi, I'll showcase to you guys what happens if he dumps a copy of Maxi. And yeah, on a 40 card deck that he has. So that's basically it. Just have everything in the graveyard. Amritara, search one Tearlaments card. So we go for Pillarino. That's it. Banish to mill. Go for Fusion Summoning. That's it. I'm just gonna fast forward this because all you have to do is just send cards to the graveyard. Now we already got, I think we already got the Dynamite in the grave and one copy of Rollback, but we need more cards in the Banish pile here. So there we go. We're going up against Kashtira. There. So 4 cards has been banished on our side, but we're still sending more cards to the Banish pile. All we need to see is a copy of Snow, and we're good to go at this point on. So there we go. I'm still looking for a copy of Snow and Necroface. So go for Minerva, use its effect, detach, mill again. There we go. We have one copy of Necroface in the graveyard. Go for a copy of Scream, then a copy of Pillarino, get a copy of Sharon. Use the effect of Sharon. Or we used the effect of Tearlaments Kashtira. Either way, as long as you have the monster in the field, we can just mill with the Scream. That's it. We just need the copy of Necroface, or the second copy of Necroface, and we're good with the Snow. See, we only have 10 cards in our deck. Dump 1. There goes the zombie, or the haunted zombie. The Nyan has been sent. 7 cards left. Yeah, it can actually remove all the cards from your deck to the graveyard that easy with this combo. Snow, there we go. Banish the Necroface, rail summon to the field, use the effect of Necroface, use the effect of Hunted Zombie to put that right or shuffle it back to our deck. And the Necroface will use the effect to banish cards from the top of our deck. We banish the second copy of Necroface and the one that we just returned from our deck. So banish extra, there we go. We have 17 on our side and then 15 on his side. That's it. And we still keep on using Snow at this point on. As long as you have Snow in your graveyard, you can just banish it. You can banish cards and then just remove everything from the graveyard and use the effect of Rollback here. Then we use the effect of Rollback, copy the effect, banish for 4,500. End our turn, draw face, use the effect of second copy of Rollback, banish, burn, and that's it. So easy as that. That's the best thing about the new Lightsworn. They can just spell summon a ton of monsters and then mill a ton of cards. That's it. That's game number 1. Let's move on with game number 2. Okay, game number 2, we have 2 Necroface. Not really the best of hand to start off with our combo, but we got the copy Pillarino and the Rhino Heart and a Solar Recharge because, you know, that's what it is. So we can just start. Yeah. No interactions from our opponent so far. Sharon, dump a copy of Necroface, dump additional cards. Solid, get a copy of Tearlaments Kashtira. Normal summon, dump one other card. I'm sorry. Then we go for Kit Callus. Kit Callus use the effect. Get a copy of Scream. Use the effect of Scream. So the typical the standard version for this combo. Trail summon the Tearlaments Kit Callus. Tearlaments Kashtira, and then use the 3 effects to mill a ton or a buttload of cards to our graveyard. There we go. That's it. All we need to do is just send all those cards. So we got the Dynamite ready and a copy of Haunted Zombies. And then just chain everything, the Felis, the copy of the Wise, and even a copy of, if ever we got the Wolf, sent to the grave as well. It's still pretty good. Go for a copy of Amritara. That's it. Pop 1, use the effect of Tearlaments, Wolf will be sent. It's like that. It's just like that. Everything sent to the graveyard, it will trigger the effect. Go for Minerva. Again, another mill for Felis. And then go for a copy of Minerva, the rank monster or the EXE monster. Banish and then mill cards. And then lastly, we go for a copy of Recalis. There we go. And then go for Minerva, dump 3. Draw 2 from the 2 Lightsworn cards we dumped. That's it. 1 Necrophase into the graveyard, and all we need is a copy of our... did we get the snow already here? Not yet, I don't think so. And lastly, the zombie vampire. That's it. And we got the snow, Spell Summon the snow. I don't know why I did that, but I should have gone with another monster. Then we can just use the snow's effect. Regardless, it's still perfectly fine. Yeah, just summon a ton of monsters to the field. Go for the Garrus. Draw 2. Dump a copy of Rollback. That's it. Go for Appaloosa. Snow once more. That's it. 11 cards in our banished pile. Haunted Zombies will shuffle back a copy of Necrophase, and of course, send back the same number for the card that we placed back to our deck. Use the effect of Necrophase once more. That's 10 on his side. Link off again. That's it. All you need to do is just banish everything else with just 1 copy of Snow. It's crazy. Honestly, guys, this is the first time I've actually done this. You know, it's very toxic. I know. It's just I'm just having fun at this point on. So it's 20 on his side, 18 on ours, so 19 I mean. So 6k was burned. End our turn, draw phase, second copy of Rollback, copy the copy of Dynamite, and yeah, that's basically game. Now I think the last game we will have the deck out thingy. So there we go. Alright guys, so here we are. We're still doing the FTKs, or yeah, second turn kill, whatever. So if ever we're going second, it's still basically the same. You can still play through a standard or a normal version of Tearlaments as long as you mill cards. You have an advantage. You can even just work with the Destrudo into a copy of Baron of Lore. It's up to you guys. I just have this one just for fun, going first, doing the FTK. So we go for our combo first. Go for Solar Recharge, dump 1 Lightsworn. Then Charge of the Light Brigade. Our guy is gonna dump a copy of Maxi. Now we can try and deck out our opponent with this. So there we go. What you basically are gonna be worried about is a copy of Imperms and a copy of Veilers. But usually people are just using a copy of Veilers or a copy of Imperm, I mean. So it's not really like a big issue. Also, it's rare to see a copy of Nibiru in most of their decks, just because it is a format where Yubel is in the mix. So yeah, it's not really like a big issue now, and that's what we are capitalizing with the new Lightsworn monsters as well. If they know what you are doing, basically they know, or they should hit the ones that is very important. The choke points are basically the synchro monsters and the zombie vampire basically. But at this point on, if you're using Tearlaments with the Lightsworn, there are a ton of choke points that they need to know for this build. So like that, they're gonna choke Minerva, which I can't do anything about it. I can't banish and then mill additional cards. But we still have like another probability of going into a copy of the zombie vampire to mill additional cards as well. There we go. And then he is gonna go for an impulse here, special something a monster. This was a very bad choice on his side, because if he had a second copy of, or third copy of Imperm, he can just use its effect. I don't think it would matter, by the way, but needless to say, it could have been a good choice to have a third copy of Imperm ready on hand. I mean, so it wasn't half bad. Anyway, so he summoned a monster, so that actually helped us quite a lot. I was worried with the third Imperm, so yeah, there we go. We're not worried anymore. So all we need to do is just send everything to the graveyard and then use the effects. Mill again. He's on 21 cards left. Go for Minerva, and since we haven't used that effect of Minerva here, we can easily use its effect still. Barricade Board Blocker, discard 1 card, and we still have Snow as well for a normal summon. Minerva Banish to mill additional cards, and we keep on spell summoning monsters to the field. Go for a Palooza. I think you can even go with a copy of what you call that? The Saryuja as well, if ever you want, or if ever you have a copy as well. So it's not half bad. But yes, we have 3 cards left. And that's basically it. I think we just basically summon everything else, or send everything else to the graveyard. Now we banish, because we got all the cards ready. Go for the Haunted Zombies. Spin back 1. And then mill the one that we sent back to the deck. There we go. And then it will trigger the same copy. That's it. 4 cards left. Go for Nightmare Griffin. Banish again. Bada bing, bada boom. And go for Acme Masquerena. 1 more card. Yeah, that's it. That's basically it. Yeah, chain link everything. And that's it. Trails on the last one. He has 0 cards, end the turn, and that's game. So, tell me your thoughts on the new toxic version for Tearlaments and Lightsworn. I'm sorry for the people who's watching this. Yeah, this is another version for the Lightsworn and Tearlaments. Yeah. Tell me your thoughts on the deck. I'll see you guys in the next video. We'll be showcasing Ritual Beast and the Goblin Riders. Keep safe, good luck. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. See you guys. Bye-bye.